He fought till he made hits that went golden. His voice was strong and strong, but he didn't tell even his closest friends about the fight that was going on behind the tattoos, wins and jelly rolls. One moment backstage then broke it all open, and his whole team was shocked by what happened next. There were signs, but did anyone notice them in time? For years, Jelly Roll has been more than just a #1 band. He has shown that he is still living. His life is like a movie script. He went from being locked up to singing at the Grammys. Sincere, rough, and full of heart. Still, sounds can break if they're under too much stress. A lot darker things have been going on behind closed doors with Jelly Roll than anyone thought. What's going on with the country rap star has really upset people who know him. It was hard for Jelly Roll to talk about a problem that was affecting his health, relationships, job, and even his desire to keep going. Fans were happy that his shows were sold out and that he was becoming more well-known. It wasn't a big deal or one that everyone saw. In his music, he's always written about problems like addiction, worry, and the pain that never goes away. There was something more real and deep in this song. He said in comments that things were getting worse, but no one knew how close he really was to losing everything. People who know him well say it started with small changes like missed calls, cancelled events, and eyes that looked far away. Then something very important took place. He had to deal with everything he thought he knew because of a personal matter. It was so strong that it scared the people around him. Still, he did what he always does. Be brave in front of his friends. But the mask is coming off. The bad news that Jelly Roll never meant to share is about to come out. Find out what's been going on besides the shows, songs and fame. As the picture comes together, there is still one question that doesn't make sense. The person who got back up from the bottom will probably make it through this fall. Before the awards shows, the big stages and the bright lights, he wasn't Jason DeFooled. He was just a kid from the Antioch neighborhood in Nashville, Tennessee, where dreams didn't come true very often. People didn't often get second chances. Jason's early years were hard because he was born on December 4th, 1984. The man he grew up with came from a poor home. The man who raised him had mental health issues and was hooked on drugs. The man who raised him sold meat from a truck to make money. It was rough, insecure, and not always nice where he lived. But when things were really crazy, music helped young Jason in a strange way. The honest ones the most. He felt safe when he was listening to rap music. He liked rappers like Tupac and 3-6 Mafia who sang about their scars and wore their pain like armor. He started to make songs and dream about bigger things, but he had to go because the streets were calling him. By the time Jason was a teenager, his life was a lot like the ones in the songs he liked. Crime and jail time. He went to jail for the first time when he was only 14. By the time he was 16, he had been to and from youth prison several times. Soon after, he was charged with a crime that would stay with him for a long time. For most people, that was the end of the road, a one-way ticket to nowhere. But he couldn't get rid of something inside him. Jason got better at writing while he was locked up. When he was in jail, he wrote songs while thinking about a stage he hadn't seen yet. The songs were about how he felt. It was more than just therapy. It was a way to stay living. And once he was free, he turned the name Jelly Roll, which his mother gave him when he was fat, into a brutally honest brand. He sold mixtapes out of the trunk of his car, putting together secret shows and working with other Southern rappers. It was really hard. There aren't any managers or funds, just raw talent and a strong drive to do well. Some of his songs were about drug abuse, being poor, having broken houses, and learning to forgive. Not as hazy thoughts, but as events that really happened. Over time, other people started to notice. But things did not go well at first. For a long time, people thought of Jelly Roll as just another secret band. Pop culture painted a pretty picture of him, but his tattoos, big body, and moody behavior often didn't match that. But that's what made him real, and it's why his fans loved him so much. They lived his songs, not just listened to them. Behind the scenes, Jelly Roll's life was also changing. He had a child when he was young, and that changed him more than any hit song ever could. When it looked like everything was going wrong, his daughter Bailey Ann was like a rock that kept him going. After that, he met Bunny So, a podcaster and model. He married her and she became his rock. She got him through the worst times and made him believe in love again. His family grew to be the most important thing in his life. What was most important to Jelly Roll? His wife, his kids, and the idea of leaving a better legacy than the one he came from. He did this while he was popular and on tour, but the fears never really went away. He has been open about the fact that he still has problems with drugs and his mental health. He knows that the pain hasn't gone away, even though he's become more famous. No one, not even he, saw him become so popular in country music, but it clicked when he moved into the genre and mixed his honest lyrics with twangy tunes and honest stories. A lot of new people learned about Jelly Roll all of a sudden. There was more to what they saw than just an artist. They saw a man who had been through pain that most people try to avoid. He was very contradictory. Son of a Sinner, his first big hit, showed this. It showed the pull and push between faith and failure, forgiveness and return. He went to a whole new level with that song. It earned him awards, TV shows, and even an emotional first performance on the Grand Ole Opry. For the kid from Antioch, it was a moment of coming full circle. It made him cry, and all the heroes in the room stopped talking. Even as his fame grew, the weight of his past never left him. A lot of times, Jelly Roll has said that he doesn't want to be famous, but rather important. He wants to be the one who tells people who are hurt that they are not alone. That goal is good, but it costs a lot. More stress is building up behind the scenes. With each win, he had to do more, meet more expectations, and spend more nights staring at the ceiling and thinking if he was good enough. The cracks have been getting worse lately. People who work with him and are close to his family say that his past, present, and role as a husband, father, and public person are beginning to catch up with him. Stress, fears, a health scare that no one knows about, and emotional tensions that have been bottled up have all added to the storm that is building below the surface. He still does his best for his friends and smiles for the paps, but the people who know him best say that things have changed. He is pulling farther away and giving it more thought as he tries to figure out if he can really escape the pain he has been writing about for decades. That's where Jelly Roll is right now, and not just as a singer. Because he is stuck between the life he ran away from and the one he has made for himself, married, a dad, a fighter, and maybe more than ever, a soul that wants peace but keeps being dragged back into the fire by life. His story keeps going, and we don't know what will happen next. The fight is still going on, and the next part could be the most important one yet. Talk had been going on in Jelly Roll's camp for months, but not from reporters or newspapers. They came from people who knew him well. He wasn't sleeping, he was getting more and more tired, and there were times on stage when he seemed disconnected, not from the music, but from himself. His family, tour crew, and even his wife, Bunny Joe, had started to notice the signs. Something went wrong. This happened just a few hours before he was going to be seen by a lot of people. It shocked his closest friends and family. People who knew Jelly Roll say he passed out in his changing room right before he went outside to meet a lot of people. The room went from being quiet to being a mess in an instant. Besides being pale and shaking, he was also having a hard time catching his breath. The ambulances were called. Fans first thought it was because he was tired from the tour, but people who knew him better knew it wasn't true. I was tired, and this was also a bad sign. His body was screaming what his mind was too proud to say out loud. A was worn out. They told him to rest right away, stop acting, and see a doctor for a full checkup. As always, Jelly Roll fought back. He had plans with friends and dates that called him, so he felt like he couldn't skip work. It felt like breaking a promise to shut down shows. Because he knows what it's like to be left behind, Jelly Roll has always tried to be there for his people. It was still easy to see the truth when no one was around. Their bodies were worn out from years of mental illness, worry, and fights. The man was now facing a different kind of beast after beating addiction. It's stressful to keep everyone else strong while he quietly falls apart. They broke up, but there were other signs as well. For example, they missed a podcast appearance with Bunny, which is rare for a couple that is so open and united. They also took a short break from social media and put off interviews without giving a good reason. There was less talking from the man who used to write a lot online, which fans began to notice. Then it came, but not in the form of a news release or a big headline. It came through a quiet live stream late at night. Jelly Roll talked to his fans with only a dim lamp shining on his face. He didn't sound like a star, but like a man in pain for too long. He then talked about how hard it is to do well when you're stressed out or having a panic attack. He said that he had gone back to bad habits like overeating, being alone and working out so hard that his body gave out, paining his. He was honest and humble, which made the moment so powerful. This man, who used to think about jail and drugs, was now saying something maybe even more harsh. He was a person who needed help. His friends came together to help him after that. People from all over the world sent lots of words of love, support, and understanding. His wife Bunny shared a post with a raw message that said being strong doesn't always mean being okay. You need to know when to stop, get better, and ask for forgiveness. But after things slowed down, a bigger truth came out that shocked even his biggest fans. It was very possible that Jelly Roll would have long-term health problems if he didn't change. New tests showed that the person had high blood pressure, had been stressed for a long time, and had signs that their heart was under a lot of stress. What kinds of problems could kill someone too soon if they aren't fixed? He could do something else. He started the work, so don't put it off any longer. If you don't, you might not be able to finish it. That alarm had to be paid attention to. Jelly Roll began to move things around without making a sound. He skipped a few shows that were going to happen. He focused on getting better. He started working with a trainer and seeing a therapist again to improve his physical, mental, and spiritual health. He also started doing the spiritual things he had stopped doing when he was so successful again. Even more important was that he began to share his fears with his family, like Bunny and his daughter. He had kept them to himself for years. The pain doesn't really go away. It just hides in different places. For those who have known him for a while, this isn't the first storm he's been through. But this one feels different. Don't worry about getting back on your feet after failing. Instead, choose to live fully even when you feel like giving up. That's what makes this part so strong. No longer is it just Jelly Roll who made it against all odds. He is the person who looks back at the dark from the top of the mountain. He makes the choice to move forward with confidence. This could be the most important time in his life, even though it's sad. He decides to do something bad next. Because of the problem, not because of it. Will he be stronger, more focused, and have a better plan when he comes back? Will he finally put himself first and take care of his health? Or will the weight of what people expect of him make him go back to the hard work that almost made things better? It's not possible to know for sure. But one thing is for sure, Jelly Roll's story isn't over yet. With every win and loss, it's still being written, one line at a time. This chapter taught us that even our heroes need to get better. Fans can only wait and hope that the next time he appears, it's not just to make us happy, but because he wants to be there, fully recovered and ready to start over. The most important thing Jelly Roll has done may not be on a billboard chart, but it is in the little ways he has improved people's lives. Besides the stage, because of a man with a rough past and tattoos who has made a name for himself through hard work and good customer service. Over the years, Jelly Roll has used his stage not to promote himself but to become known. For people who have been hurt, ignored, taken advantage of, or are in jail. He didn't just sing about being saved. He lived it and helped other people escape the fire. He went back to the Nashville Youth Prison Center where he had been held as a teen. This was one of the most important things he did. This time, though, he wasn't a prisoner. He was a teacher. He gave $250,000 so that a music studio could be built inside the jail. These things gave the young inmates a voice and a way to say what they wanted. They also gave them hope that they could change their lives. This was in 2023. He told CBS Mornings that he wanted to give these kids hope. Help me stay alive. It could save theirs too. He still had work to do. To raise understanding about mental health, help people get off drugs, and make changes to the way the criminal justice system works, Jelly Roll has been a strong supporter. He has spoken at treatment centers, helped non-profit re-entry programs, and used his social media following to help families whose loved ones are hooked by raising money. At a time when a lot of celebrities try to avoid talking about their issues, Jelly Roll does. His marriage to Bunny So, his wife, has also become a place of love and healing. Together, they made the podcast Dumb Blonde a safe space where people can talk about hard times getting better and finding forgiveness. It's not only fun to listen to, but it's also a safe spot to feel better. People who like Jelly Roll are more than just friends. They've been through a lot together. People who have never been to one of his shows say it's more like group therapy, where strangers sing along with each other as they heal and go through pain. That could be why he's so important. He's put together a group. He spoke up for people who didn't have one before. He showed that what happened in the past doesn't determine what will happen in the future. He showed us that it's possible to forgive even when things get messy. This is one of the worst times in Jelly Roll's life, so remembering him seems more important than ever. Not because they are scared, but because they have hope. Believe that the person who got back up after falling can do it again. He did it this time for himself, not to get attention or praise. The story of Jelly Roll isn't a fairy tale. It's not clean. A battle-scarred song, it's not polished or what you'd expect. There were bad choices, broken hearts, brave comebacks, and unfinished lines in this book. But that's what makes it strong. Because when Jelly Roll goes on stage, he brings his whole story with him. Even our heroes get hurt, even when he's not the center of attention. Every once in a while, our strongest sounds need a break. The person who gave us hope may need us now more than ever. Now is the time to stand up for him if his songs or words have ever helped you feel better, slept better, or seen that healing is possible. As he gets better, please love and pray for him. And keep his story in mind when you're having a hard time. You're not by yourself. You're important. You can start over whenever you want. While we wait for the next show, please like this video, subscribe, and click the Notify Me button.